Julia stood across from me, arms crossed, her posture rigid and forceful. Her voice shattered the silence, burning with rage that threatened to boil over. I won't say it again. David needs help, and you're being utterly self-centered. I took a deep breath, steadying myself. Julia, please put your coffee cup down carefully. We've been through this before. It's not about selfishness. It's about priorities. David has become overly dependent on us. He needs to start taking accountability for his own actions. Her lips tightened into a thin, unforgiving line. He's my brother, she snapped, her voice sharp with emotion. Our family, as we promised when we got married. Family supports each other. Family also learns to stand on their own 2 feet. I countered, keeping my voice calm but firm. We've pulled David out of more situations than I can count. He needs to start handling his own problems without dragging us down with him. Julia moved suddenly, pulling out a chair so forcefully that it screeched against the floor. She sat down, her gaze locking onto mine, her expression like stone. You don't understand, do you? She whispered, her voice trembling with barely contained fury. You can't comprehend because you've never had siblings. You don't know what it means to support someone. Her words stung, but I refused to let them shake me. I may not have siblings, but I do understand accountability. Right now, my duty is to our future and our finances. I can't keep bailing David out when it's clear he has no intention of changing. The silence between us was thick, suffocating. I could see the storm brewing behind her eyes. Then, without warning, she grabbed her coffee cup and flung its contents at me. The world seemed to slow. The dark liquid arced through the air before hitting my skin. The scalding heat bit into me, forcing a sharp gasp from my lips. The mug clattered against the table, the sound reverberating through the quiet kitchen, louder than it had any right to be. For a moment, I was frozen. My face burned, my shirt was soaked, and my hands trembled as I reached for a tissue, wiping away the stinging liquid. Across from me, Julia remained still, her expression a mixture of fury and something fleeting, regret, maybe. Her lips parted slightly, as if she wanted to speak, but no words came. Finally, I broke the silence. What the hell, Julia? My voice was low, but the weight behind it was undeniable. You would have shoved me, she said defensively, though unease flickered in her tone. I rose to my feet, slowly. You were furious, and you meant every word. I gestured to my damp shirt, my reddened skin. This isn't about David. This is about control. About you believing you can force me to do what you want, no matter the cost. Her expression hardened. The hesitation was gone. You're being dramatic, she scoffed, waving a dismissive hand. It's just coffee. Just coffee? I echoed. That's exactly the problem, Julia. You don't see what you did as serious. For the first time, I noticed a shift in her expression. Not remorse, not apology, but something close to defiance. If you had just agreed to help David, none of this would have happened. She shot back, her voice rising. This is your fault, Mark. I stared at her, my thoughts racing. Had she always been like this? Had I ignored the warning signs? Had love, stress, and time blinded me to the slow decay of our marriage? I think we're done here, I said finally. Julia's face crumpled in disbelief. You're serious? I am. The words felt both liberating and devastating. I can't do this anymore. I need to start prioritizing myself. She turned away, her shoulders slumping, as if trying to form a response but coming up empty. The finality of it all settled over me like a heavy weight, but I didn't let it hold me back. I grabbed my keys and headed for the door. I'll be in touch, I said, my voice steady. I'll have my lawyer handle the details. Then I stepped outside, closing the door behind me. For the first time in years, I could breathe. Ryan's house felt foreign, even though I had been here 100 times. As I stepped inside, he studied my face cautiously. It's done, I exhaled. Ryan whistled softly. How'd she take it? I shrugged. As expected. Some shouting, some guilt-tripping. But I think she knew this was coming. He handed me a cold bottle of water. That's the first step. The hard part is next. I took a sip, already knowing he was right. You need to make plans, financial and legal. Make sure she doesn't blindside you later. I nodded. Ryan tapped his pen against a notebook. First things first, money. You have joint accounts, right? Most of our funds are my name, I said. Good. Transfer them. Protect yourself. She doesn't work, does she? I hesitated. No, but... Then deactivate any credit card she has access to. Move your direct deposit to a new account. You don't want her racking up debt in your name. I frowned. That feels harsh. It's smart, Ryan countered. Trust me, you don't want to deal with a financial disaster on top of everything else. He was right. Julia had never been frugal. There was nothing stopping her from maxing out our accounts out of spite. I pulled out my phone, making notes. What's next? I asked. Ryan leaned back. Are you getting your own place or staying here for now? I hesitated. I don't want to overstay my welcome. But finding a place will take time, and I'm not sure how my finances will look post-divorce. Stay here for now, but start looking. I made another note. I'd need clothes, documents, essentials, things I couldn't leave behind. You have the lawyers meeting this afternoon, right? Ryan asked. I sighed. Yeah, but I don't even know what to ask. The more you understand about divorce procedures, restraining orders, and asset protection, the better. He was right. This wasn't about emotions anymore. It was about taking control. What about work? He asked. Are you taking time off? I hesitated. My job gave me stability, but I wasn't ready to pretend nothing had changed. I'll take a few days. Maybe not this week. Ryan clapped me on the back. You're doing great, man. This is the hardest part, but you're handling it. The rest of the morning passed in a blur of emails, phone calls, and password changes. I canceled shared credit cards, created a new bank account, and took the first steps toward reclaiming my life. By the time I sat back, exhausted, a strange feeling settled over me. Relief. For years, I had been putting out fires in a marriage that had been running on autopilot. Today, I finally put one out for good.